Congressman Issa, why now?
Well, Catherine, hopefully I'll surprise the audience and we'll get to questions in less than 25 minutes. Well, first of all, the reason for doing it in September was not an expectation that it would be signed by the president before his second term, but in fact for just that reason, that this is not a partisan issue. This is an issue that Jerry and I have both thought needed to be tackled. As you can imagine, there'll be nuances and differences as we mark it up. But some of the key elements that make this something that has to be done is, first of all, you mentioned the Clinger Act, which was passed before either of us were here in Congress, needs an overhaul. It needs an overhaul for one most important reason, and that is if you authorize CIOs, then by definition the term should mean something. When you have hundreds of them for 24 major agencies, you really don't have chiefs. And that's the most important thing that this bill is intended to do, is to redefine the term chief to mean the chief. There's plenty of Indians, plenty of people controlling at lower levels, but there has to be one responsible individual who then holds their staff at all levels, regardless of their titles and their pay grades, responsible. We don't have that in the federal government. So when something goes wrong, you can have as many, in one agency, you can have over 20 people who bear the name chief, none of whom have budget authority. And I think that's probably the crux of it. Now, we can talk, as you did, Catherine, we can talk about the problem. We can talk about $81 billion being spent, and 20 or 21 billion being effectively evaporated due to cancellation, waste, and the like. And that would be enough for Mr. Connolly and I to work on a reform. But it's not, it's the fact that 80 or $81 billion was intended to provide information in a multi-trillion-dollar world, a $17 trillion economy, $3.5 or so trillion worth of federal spending, a significant portion of that in various areas of acquisition. But again, you go back and say, what is the real loss? The loss is the information, the facts, the figures, the transparency are not available to the decision makers. Therefore, the $80 billion of bad IT has a ripple effect that is certainly hundreds of billions of dollars to our economy. And there's always a quote line that you have to be careful about when you talk about legislation. But I'll give you one. I would throw that $20 billion into the mix if it meant the rest of government was efficient, effective, had the kinds of information and accountability that, let's say, Walmart insists on for its equipment.